Hi everyone. Today I'm going to be showing you very quickly how to play one of my favorite board games or card games, The Mind. The Mind is a great game that you can learn to play within 5 minutes. Um, it's great for anywhere from 2 to 4 players typically, although in theory you could play it with up to 50, 100 players if you wanted. Uh, but the more players you get, the more difficult it'll be. So The Mind is a very simple game. You it works initially on a level system. So you'll always start on level 1, which will be indicated by these cards. As you move from one level to another, which you will only move if you successfully complete the prior level, uh, you often get rewards, which I'll talk about what those will be. Now, the goal of each level is very simple. You and your partners, because this is a co-op game, which means you're trying to achieve a goal with each other. You're not playing against each other for a winner. Either everyone wins or everyone loses. So each player starts with by being dealt the number of cards of the level. So at level 1, you start with 1 card each. At level 5, though, you each are going to have 5 cards, which means that the difficulty of the game increases. The cards that you're dealt are numbered cards. There's 100 cards in the deck, and so everyone will get cards 1 through 100, um, which will look something like this. Each player has to figure out how to play the cards in sequential order without communicating. That's where the trick comes in. You have to find out how to read each other's body language and facial expressions in a way that gives you a clue or helps you figure out what order to play the game or the cards in. If you play a card out of order, you lose a life. What are lives? Well, at the beginning of the game, you'll start with the number of lives of players. So for a 2-player game, you'll start with 2 lives, and each life looks like this. For a 4-player game, you'd start with 4 lives. So if a card is played out of order, you lose a life, you discard that card and move on. Uh, when you successfully complete a level, you'll move to the next level. So if you successfully complete level 1, you'll move to level 2, like this. Now what you'll see in the corner down here is the reward you get. Not every level gives you a reward, but if there is one here, which is maybe tough to see here, but that's a throwing star. You'll get a throwing star once you reach level 2. What throwing stars are these. You start with 1 throwing star, and as you can see, you'll gain them as you reach certain levels. And a throwing star can be played at any time, but all players have to agree on it. If you think that it's time to play a throwing star, you raise your hand. If everyone else on the team raises their hand, then you discard the throwing star, and each player lays down their lowest or the lowest card in their hand. This gives you an idea as to where everyone else is. If the highest card you have is a 50, and your partner or everyone else in the group lays down cards higher than 50, you know that your cards are lower than the cards everyone else has. You'll succeed when you reach and beat the highest level, which is 12, meaning each player starts that level with 12 cards in their hand, and you have to play them all before you run out of lives. If you run out of lives, that's the end of the game, and you start over. I'd pick up this game if you can. In my opinion, it's one of the best games for under $10. It can also be found at pretty much any big box store like Walmart, Meijer, Target. And so I'd take a look. It's a great present for Christmas coming up, and it's also just a great couples game for if you're still stuck inside. Thanks a lot, and let me know what you guys think.